Alright y'all, this is my 1022 takedown in mossy oak, and we're going to change the trigger. That's my most ambitious project yet. £5 trigger. We're going to try to get that down to 2 pounds. Stick around. Alright y'all, let's get started. I have here a kid trigger and trigger group, and I have a kid hammer with its corresponding pin. This is the trigger group. We're going to tear it down. The first thing you want to do is release the hammer. Now you would think that I'd had enough sense to take it off of safety. Okay. This right here is the hammer spring. It sticks through a hole and it sticks in the back of the trigger. We're just going to reach in there and pull it out. There is a notch right there. When you reinstall this, you want that notch facing up. Next thing we're going to take out is the bolt hold open. This is the top of it running right across there. In order to take it out, there are 2 pins. This pin and this pin. This is the bottom of the bolt hold open. I'm going to push this pin partially the way out. I'm not going to take it all the way out, because if I take it all the way out, the magazine release and all that will fall out, and I don't need any more parts on this table than I can get away with. Now there was a spring that flew up right there. That's what makes the bolt hold open work. Don't worry about it when it flies up like that. This is the ejector. It rides on this pin here. Now I should be able to just reach in here and pull this out. There it is. Now this is one this is one that I worked on, okay? It works. The next thing we're going to do, this spring, see, it's got 2 ends on it. I'll show it to you when I get it out of there. But the point I wanted to make is one end of it, the crooked end, it rides in that little notch right there on the bolt hold open when we go to reassemble this. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the hammer out. That's this pin right here. I want to check, make sure that spring and that other pin is okay. Let's just push this out. Now, I do not want to get all these pins confused. Matter of fact, I have a new pin, so I'm just going to take this one and get it the hell out of the way. And there's a reason for that. This is not the first time that I've done this. I made a film last week on the ATI, and I ended up with pins everywhere, and it was a mess. The video ran 30 minutes long. I don't want that today. The other end of this spring rides right there. Right there in that notch. Now, I'm going to take this hammer and I'm discarding it. I'll keep it for some other day. And this will go on the new hammer when we go to reassemble the gun. The next pin we're going to take out holds the trigger group in right here. Now when I push this pin out, that trigger group is going to fall all to pieces. So I'm going to catch it in my hand. There it goes. I'm going to put this pin. No, I already got a pin for that, so I'm just going to get this one out of the way. Here's the trigger group. I'm going to get all that out of my way so I don't get it confused. This is the trick, and this sometimes will fall out too, and probably will fall out before it's over with. But that's just a little detent with a spring behind it. That is the trigger return spring and detent. That's all there is to it. It's empty, basically, except for this mag release and the safety. See, it's wanting to fall out. Doesn't really matter. Now we'll just go back in reverse. We're going to put the trigger group in. There is a slate. Well, see, there it went. That's okay. We'll get it back in there. There is a slate pin right here that this comes with. When I put the pin that goes in there back in, it will push that out of there. No, this is a slate pin, excuse me. It'll push this out of there. So we'll just drop the trigger in there. And I'll take this detent. It's got a small end and a big end. You put it in the small. Put it in the small end. Get the trigger out of the way. And we'll put it back up in there. I'll be honest with you, I'm nervous as hell right now, because I want this video to go smooth. I'm going to line that up. Now I can see the slate pin right here. We're going to take this pin. That ain't it. See? Man, make sure that you have some way of keeping this stuff straight. We're going to push it out of there. It's beveled on one end. I'm not certain which way it goes, but we're going to just line it up and push it in, manhandle it. There it is. And the slate pin came out the other side. I'm going to get it out of the way. Now all we have to do is put the rest of this back. The trigger is in there. It's installed. So, next thing we're going to do Oh man, that thing fell all the way out. But it's okay. I can get it back in there. I just don't want the pieces falling out, because it just makes the film longer. Now the next thing we're going to do is, I think I'll put this back in. The bolt hold open. It just drops in there also. That other pin has to be out of the way to get in there. Let's drop this in there. And we'll get this. Is that the right pin? Yeah, I think so. We'll get that pin in to hold it in place temporarily. The ejector also rides on that pin. I'm going to put it in and just kind of push it over for right now. Now I want to line this up, the bottom part of this bolt hold open, and push that pin through from the other side. So now we got the bolt hold open in there. Now we want to put the hammer in with its corresponding pin. I hope I'm staying in frame. This rides right there. Now when I put this in, I want this end to ride in that little notch on the bolt hold open that I showed you. I want to make sure it's going to be on there. Take the pull up on the bolt hold open and slide the hammer down into its where it goes. Let's get the pin in there. We'll try and line those holes up. I'm trying to my spring, the long end of the spring is not in the place that it should be. I'm going to take this hammer back out. And try and fish that spring out of there. Now a kid does this and he's a lot smoother than I am, I promise you. There, I got the spring. I'm going to put the hammer back down in there. There. Now let's get the pin back in. Get everything to line up. See what I'm doing? You didn't expect this thing to go smooth, did you? We're almost there. We are almost there, y'all. Got the pin in. I'm looking at the spring. That spring, the bolt hold open spring. It's got to ride properly. And to be honest with you, I don't see that well. Let's get this end around where it goes. That is underneath an awful lot of pressure. I was trying to do this without stopping the damn film. I have got to get that other end of that spring up in that notch. Hang on, we'll be back. Alright, y'all. What was causing me problems is this top part of this spring. It was hung up back down in here. I had to take the pin back out, take the bolt out, get this spring in its right place. The other end of it rides in the notch on the bolt hold open. Okay? So everything is in its place. Now all I have to do is put the hammer spring back in its proper place. And remember, we want that little notch up. We stick it in its hole. If I can see the damn hole. Those of you that wanted to see a train wreck, it's a done deal. Now, that just slides down in there, and we'll cock the hammer. It's all put back together. I'm going to put it back in the gun, then we're going to check the trigger. Alright, y'all, I'm back. We got it all done. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Let's check the trigger. Notice it's a different shaped trigger. It's straighter, which should make for a, see how curved this one is? It should make for a better trigger all around. Take it off of safety. Nut. Wow. Let's do that again. £2 exactly, y'all. Hope you can see that. It's £2. And I did it. Unbelievable. Well, there it is, y'all. That is a kid trigger group. Took it down to £2. Everything works properly. Didn't take 30 minutes, I don't think. Everything still works properly with a £2 trigger. Man, that's sweet. I'll put their link down there. If I can do it with all my shaking and get it right, I had a little trouble with that bolt hold open spring, but it ain't no big deal. These things are nothing to be afraid of. If you want to make all these changes, do it. I appreciate y'all watching. Catch you later. Bye.